Hi there, Virgo. Hope you guys are having a great January. This is your mid-January reading, covering the energies of approximately the last 2 weeks and the middle portion of the month. Okay. Father of Swords in reverse, Seven of Wands upright just popped out. Let's set those to the side. Let me make sure that we are recording properly. Excellent. Just gonna shuffle it a bit here. I'm getting a sense of wanting to put things in order, almost like when you're preparing a house for guests, right? Putting the last touches here and there, putting things in order, the ordering of something. And your sign is Virgo, so it very well could be that energy of even perfectionism that's manifesting for you in this period of the month. Okay. Just getting a similar feeling for Sagittarius. So, all right, here we go. Let's proceed here. We are going to be doing the Celtic Cross again, the same spread as the last reading. So right here, we're going to have your distant past. Let's make sure that you can see that in the, yes, okay. Distant past, recent past, current state, help or hurt card, sort of the environmental energies card. Sorry, not the environmental energies card. The environmental energies card is right here. This is the sort of advice card, okay? Following that is the near future, then your hopes and or your fears, followed by, at the very end here, the final outcome. At the top, we're going to be having 3 crowning energy cards. The first is the energy that really you harness, that helps lead you to where you are now, followed by the environmental energies, and followed by the sort of energetic pathway that you're moving towards. Okay, so let's give it a last whirlwind of a shuffle here. Yeah, there is like some deciding, I'm sensing. Deciding, even between multiple options. Here we go. Recent past. Sorry. Distant past, recent past, current state. Advice. Position. Near future. Hopes and or fears. And this is the final outcome. And I believe you got this in your last spread, actually, as the energetic pathway that you were moving into. the energy that you harness that helped lead you to your current state, the environmental energies card, and the energetic pathway that you're moving into. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands as the theme of the reading. So, from what I do remember for your last reading, there was a sense of the Pentacles theme being emphasized, meaning that which regards your finances, your career, anything that you work towards in a tangible way, a structured way that contributes to your overall sense of groundedness and security, okay? And as we mentioned in the last reading, there is this pentacle atop the forehead of the devil, the goat here. And the devil card usually, you know, it can speak to sort of an overemphasis or an overdependence on being stable and grounded in some way, okay? It can also speak to dependency, right? Codependency. Rather, an excess, okay? An excess of energy. And look at the feet of the devil. They're like on fire, right? So it's a rather I'll say it like this. This is the card of Capricorn. The devil is the card of Capricorn. Okay. And Capricorn is known for being very focused on their goals, right? Really, like the mountain goat, pursuing their goals almost at any cost, okay? Of course it depends, but in general, right, the mountain goat is a hardy animal. It ascends the mountain, it climbs without any sort of turning back, looking back. When they have their mind set on a goal, they really pursue it, okay? Reaching the top of the mountain. So in a way, right, there is this heat, right? Kind of the fire beneath your butt that gets you moving and going towards whatever it is you've set your sight on. And that can potentially be related to this pentacle, this grounded earth energy, this career or financial venture that you are somewhat preoccupied with, it seems. Okay. So now there is this sort of fusion, right, between, oh wow, you got this last month too, I believe, the balancing and the harnessing of all elements, right? Because I remember there being a significant emphasis on the pentacles, on the earth element, okay? So this theme is somewhat carrying over as I'm seeing it. So there, again, let's backtrack a little bit. There is an emphasis, as I'm seeing it, on wands and pentacles, the interplay between fire and earth energy, okay? And Sagittarius had the same sort of interplay between these two elements as well, okay? Now, let's take a look at the elements overall in the theme that we have here. There's Judgment. It's a major arcana. The Hermit, another major arcana. Temperance, another major arcana. The Devil, another major arcana. And the World, yet again, another major arcana. And right beneath this Ace of Wands, you have the Magician, another major arcana, and the Wheel of Fortune, another major arcana. So there is definitely, right, a significant transformation, okay, that's taking place in terms of perhaps your finances or your career, okay? And as that relates to you and how you really come out in the world, right? How you harness the tools that lay at your fingertips and create the world around you, moving forward on your journey, okay? This is the number one. It's the magician, right? The magician is the alchemist. There's a figure 8 as well on his chest, right? Really speaking to the harnessing of all elements in a way that is universally compliant in a way, right? All elements are dependent on one another, and the magician utilizes all of them, right, to create what it is he wants to manifest in his life or her life. Okay, so there is this emphasis on creation, really becoming in a way the alchemist of your world, okay? And in a way that seems is tied to your personal character and ability, really, your skill, right? The ability to bring all elements together and create, rather than, per se, an overemphasis on just one aspect, being single-minded, on one aspect and goal, right? And just charging forward almost like a mountain goat, right? Bulldozing right through in a way. So there is a plea, it almost seems, to really take a holistic approach and remember that you are the alchemist of your world. You have these tools, right? The universe is made up of all these elements all together, right? In a way. So, and of course it depends on what beliefs you subscribe to, but the elements, they rely on one another, okay? So I'm also sensing a need to really get in touch with your intuition and with yourself. Definitely. Okay. You have the Hermit. It's a very introspective, intuitive card and character. The Hermit is alone, right? Sort of cooped up, drawn in within his shell, and he's just ruminating, he's pondering, he's thinking in silence, right? With no one around him to really influence his decision or actions on how to move forward. He's relying on himself and what tools he has, right? Within his world, his own world, okay? To create, right? The light is above the Hermit. This is in a way signifying the inner knowing that we all have, right? We provide the light. Our intuition, right, guides our way. So the Hermit is in darkness, but the light is still within him, coming from him, right? He's really depending on himself, on his own intuition. So let's move forward the rest of the spread and get a sense of the other elements at play here. So again, we have significant major arcana presence here, signifying that it's a major transformation of your character and of what you're trying to create around you. Then we have 2 earth cards, speaking of pentacles, okay? And going from the Judgment to a 9 of Pentacles, we'll further disseminate this, but it seems that there has been a decision, right? A looming decision that has perhaps yet to be made. Something about this process, perhaps, that you're contributing to or you're trying to create and bring forward is not yet out in the open and out in the clear. Perhaps. But let's get to that in a bit. Moving forward with the elemental energies, we have 2 swords that popped out. Okay, speaking of air, the air element, speaking of the intellectual faculties, right, that we hold, our sense of logic and rationality, okay, judgment, clarity, decision, right? So another decision card almost, okay, which was the energy I was sort of picking up on while I was shuffling there. Now, you have 2 cups cards crowning on either side of the world, okay? Cups speaking to emotion, speaking to one's intuition, sensitivity, creativity, okay? Compassion, right? Understanding. So it seems you have every element represented, okay? And you don't have any wands immediately in your spread. Wands being fire, being action, being creativity, being initiative, right? But you do have one that popped out, and that's the 7 of Wands, and you have the Ace of Wands crowning your reading, right? Crowning the theme of your reading. So really, right, what I'm getting is that this Ace of Wands, this is sort of the underpinning, right, of perhaps, and I'm sensing there are many layers to this, but underpinning, right, this energy has yet to manifest in a way, has yet to come out in the open, perhaps, okay? But let's, okay, you have the 8 of Pentacles right beneath the world, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, definitely this is the strategic preparation phase, okay, waiting in a way for this wheel to turn, and for, so there's sort of an impedance, right, on time. There's the waiting of time to pass, right, almost a dependence on being at the mercy of fate or time in a way, right? But nevertheless, this is sort of has an elongated feeling, right? Just focusing, building the web, not really knowing, let's say, when your efforts will finally culminate and when this Wheel of Fortune will turn. So there is a sense of waiting and preparing and working very strategically and hard towards it. But look, you know, right above those two cards, you have the Ace of Wands and the Magician. These are very fiery cards. It's quite the opposite of the stable, systematic earth element, right? So it's almost like, right, you are in a way being beckoned to also take and remember this approach, the harmonization of all elements, rather than perhaps being so focused in the systematic fine-tuning, just almost predictable, right, work that you're doing or that you're contributing towards it, okay? Perhaps, but let's actually get right into it here. So in your deep past, you have Judgment in reverse, okay? And following that, you have this 9 of Pentacles upright, okay? So this card and this card and even this card speak to sort of decision, okay? And I would also say this card, the Father of Swords in reverse, okay? Being more like the Judgment. So a decision, right? A decision to, in a way, open this fire, open this new world, take this stand of the Ace of Wands, really harness the Magician's energy, okay? This is almost peeking out, right? And as is this flame above the Hermit, right? It's there, but he's still in remission. He's still hiding in a way, okay? So perhaps I'm sensing, and same with this card right here, the Seven of Wands. There's this flame atop, right? And darkness below. This fire energy, right, is perhaps not being tapped into yet. The decision has not been made yet, right? Decision has not been made yet to take this fiery, passionate, extroverted, really creative and dynamic approach towards what you've been working towards, right? Your waiting and your strategic, regimented focus on your affairs, okay? Career, finance, and anything really that brings you stability. So the Ace of Wands, this color palette, right, this color tone, is so similar to the background of this Magician card, as well as the background of this Nine of Pentacles, right? Speaking to, yet again, the fusion and almost the interdependence, right? The need to fuse fire energy with earth energy, okay? And this Magician is in reverse, so it's almost as if, right, below this Ace of Wands, the need to move forward in a very bold way, in a creative way, depends on your ability to step into the Magician energy, right? To realize that in yourself, even, that's what I'm feeling. To recognize in yourself the ability, okay, and the tools you have at your disposal to really be able to move forward with this Ace of Wands energy, okay? This foray into the more creative aspects of your character and whatever it is that you contribute towards and you work towards. So yes, it seems that it's becoming more clear, okay, that a decision does have to be made. The focus is now almost magnified in front of your eyes, right? You're now seeing this color, okay? You're now seeing fire and recognizing that perhaps, right, the fusion between fire and earth is something to pursue. But perhaps, right, it's in regards to some sort of decision that in the past you didn't exactly pursue in a clear way, that you didn't fly with, so to speak, right? Like this dove trying to fly up, right? Wasn't done, and perhaps this decision now, right, or even this clarity, this opening, okay, this opening, I'm seeing it as an opening, really. A greater clarity and realization of the concept, right, of marrying fire energy with earth. Stability and groundedness with creativity and initiative, passion. So in your advice position, you have the Hermit. Okay. And this energy can be helpful or counterproductive even, right? That's what this position generally connotes. But when you have the Hermit and the given spread, I'm seeing this as, look at these two cards. They're both nines. 9 of Pentacles, 9 of this major arcana, okay? And this is almost the end of the cycle, right? This is speaking to a sort of finality, right? That is not yet not yet brought out in the open and brought forward. So there is a waiting on some aspect, right? Like I said, in the very beginning when I was shuffling, there's a feeling of putting everything in place, right? Right before the guests come over your home. It's sort of like the right before they arrive, that sort of feeling, right before the culmination. Okay? There's definitely momentum, but there's still something that is required to bring this ending about. And so the Hermit energy can work for you, right? It's like saying the 9 and the 9, utilize the Hermit's energy in order to bring this about. Now, the Hermit's energy is necessary, right? Clarity, thinking, even the colors of these two cards are so very similar, okay? And there is this fiery emblem at the top of both. So I believe, I'm sensing that this card here is really saying, take heed, really ruminate, okay? And this is the Virgo card, so this is really your sort of energy, right? With great prominence here, okay? A reminder of, right, who you are, really going into yourself, okay? And thinking, right, even more intuitively, remembering, going back, right, really seeing the core of your being, of who you are. The Magician is a number 1. It's right after the Fool. The Fool is the very first major Arcana card, signifying the beginning of the journey, right, the energetic path. But the Magician is the first, right, and it's sort of a representation of and the reminder of the constituents of our being, right, with which we create and we manifest and we move forward on our path and accomplish or seek out our goals, okay, work towards our goals. So the Hermit, right, is in a way beckoning you to take the time to be introspective, to think about really who you are and your skills, and being
Sorry
open.
about that, Virgo.
The camera died. Okay, so we were saying the Hermit as a sort of reminder of the essence of your being, okay? Being open to taking this other approach, right? Being open, the opening of the mind even, right? Swords represent the mind, our thinking, right? So it's almost like opening the mind by way of rumination and deep, intuitive, truthful and honest introspection, okay? And through that, being open to, right, this perhaps different approach and the utilization of different skills and aspects of yourself, okay, of your various energies, right, even that you have to work with, because everybody is in some way, right, again, depending on what belief you subscribe to, but everybody is comprised of different elements, right? We're not just fire, we're not just water, we're not just mental capabilities, right? We're not just brute hard work, okay? We are, like the figure 8 suggests on the Magician's chest, we are the interlocking and the fusion of all of these elements together, okay? So coming back to that concept, being open to it, right? Perhaps even the willingness to see yourself in a different light, okay? Now, moving forward into your near future, you have Temperance in reverse, Okay, this card is speaking to the fire element, especially as I see it here. But really many different elements. Okay, I see this as speaking to the element of fire, but also water, right? The colors of water, the water drops that are feeding the fire, that are falling into the fire, and also earth, right? And almost every card, right? Almost every element has sort of a reference to another element, right? Again, speaking to the interdependence of all elements to bring about harmony. Okay, so right within this pentacle, at the very core of the pentacle, you have this this seems like molten, fiery center, right? Speaking to, oftentimes I read it as the spark, right? The first idea, the conception, the initiation by which this journey, this new journey, the tree of this trunk, the seed that was planted, right, took place to help lead to this new beginning, to help lead to stability, right? Without this fire, right, you cannot create, right? Fire is a very creative energy. So temperance, right, is about patience, faith, hope, tempering, balancing, just like the magician, balancing, okay? Balancing the various elements, right? And understanding the natural progress, right? The natural progression that takes into consideration, again, all elements, okay? The Wheel of Fortune, you see wands, you see colorful strings, right? There is this element of circularity, right? Speaking to sort of the theme of pentacles, of fruition, of creating things in a structured way, right? There is the moon speaking to water. There is the owl, which is oftentimes depicted on the swords card, speaking to the intellectual faculties, right? But really, temperance is speaking to, again, the realization of the interplay between all of these elements. However, this realization, perhaps, it seems it has been slow to come, slow to move into. You are moving into it. The clarity is opening. You're seeing it in that light, perhaps more clearly. But the true transformation, right, of stepping into that persona, okay, perhaps is one that is more gradual, a more gradual transformation, okay? And you have temperance right beneath the Ace of Pentacles. Again, so the Ace of Pentacles, though, is your hopes and or your fears. Okay. And it seems that in a way, this Ace of Pentacles is almost like, again, the return to the foundation of what we're building. Here you have the Nine of Pentacles, okay? Again, going back, really introspecting, viewing things in a different way with more clarity, but perhaps one that's intuitive, right? Gaining a sense for the foundation of you and how you manifest things, or seeing yourself in a different light. And so again, right, perhaps as your hope or your fear, The Ace of Pentacles can sort of be a revisiting to the foundation of what you've built. Let's get back to this card though. Let's move forward and revisit this concept. I feel that it might be somehow connected to the crowning energy and even the devil perhaps. So you have the devil card walking away from, it seems, all of this energy. Okay? And the color theme is so similar on these two cards. Really on so many of the cards. The Hermit, the Two of Swords, even Judgment somewhat, right? But you don't have the fire element present in Judgment. But you have this sort of burst of red, this flame, this spark, this sudden opening realization, right? On these four cards. And the red is on the feet of the devil in this particular situation. Perhaps this is a fear of needing to begin again. Perhaps. Perhaps this is the feeling of needing to begin again. Perhaps feeling somewhat impatient. Again, being slowly moving into this energy, but feeling somewhat perhaps impatient to take a closer look at the foundation of whatever it is you're contributing to take this closer look, to really, all right, this is the clarity I feel, this is the opening of the mind in terms of the situation at hand, but in terms of actually, in practice, bringing all elements together and taking this different approach. It's coming, it's slow, and perhaps you feel that it might slow the growth of, oops. Yeah, you're afraid of this. See, this Nine of Pentacles just fell on the ground, okay? I'm getting that you are afraid that taking this approach might slow and temper the growth of the whole thing you're trying to accomplish, okay? There's a resistance, perhaps. There's a, right? There's a, and the fire is in the very center of this pentacle, right? So again, if we're going with that concept that we mentioned earlier, the revisiting to the essence of what we contribute to as it relates to the fusion of fire energy and earth energy, passion, creativity, and stability and growth. Okay? But then you have this devil card, right? And this is speaking to an emphasis on the earth element. However, right, the fire is being the mover and the driver of the pursuit towards and of whatever it is you want to accomplish. Okay? Let's get back to this energy here. So up top, you have the Four of Cups, the energy that helped lead you to your current state of the Two of Swords. Okay. This is the first representation of water energy in your spread here. Okay, and it's not one that's really, it's not one that's really colorful, right? The cups of water are not being used even, right? They're being, in a way, hoarded, covered, plugged in a way. Okay, there's a sort of remission even, or stagnancy to the emotional aspect of your world, of your life at this moment in time, perhaps. There's so much focus, perhaps, right? Look at this rat looking over the Ace of Wands. It's almost like, don't look here, don't focus on these cups. This is not the focus now, right? Emotions are not the focus now. Let's focus on what we want to create, what we want to manifest. Okay, and perhaps the stowing away of emotions has led to this opening of the mind. But one that, again, is a reminder of, it's almost opening back up towards this card, right? Almost reversing into it. Okay, so perhaps there's been an over-focus on the earth element, the stowing away of emotions, right? Temporarily saying, let's not focus on emotions right now. Let's focus on work and drive and even creativity, right? To some extent. And then the mind, right? There's an opening of the mind that really is one that recalls, right? That reminds us of, again, all elements, the fusion of all elements. Okay, and opening in a way back up, opening of the emotions back up. Okay, so, and this makes more sense, right? Because it seems that you're moving from one theme, right, of just pentacles, focus on pentacles, 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 to water, emotion, okay, intuition, the harmony and utilization of all aspects and elements of yourself coming together. And this card as well, right? Again, speaking to the fusion of various elements, fire, earth, water, okay? So it seems that there's an opening up of emotions that's going, that's the space sort of that it seems you're moving into, right? Embarking on this new journey that really it regards your emotional self more closely, okay? Now, you have the world in your environmental energies card, really speaking to, in a way, right? Like, the world is yours. Okay, the world is yours. But if you look at the world, it's made of colors. Of colors. There are colors that line the perimeter of the world. Okay? And inside are the plants, the flowers, speaking to the earth element, right? What we create. And the colors on the Temperance card, right? Again, speaking to the fusion of elements, okay? The natural cycle, being patient, but being hopeful about it, right? The utilization of all elements, okay? So I'm seeing this as your environment, right? Similarly to the Wheel of Fortune card, is the wheel is turning, right? The world is yours. Your environment is open to you, right? This is a reminder that the world is what you create. The world around you, right? That you create is in your hands. Look at this Ace of Wands. This wand is in your hand. It's taking the stand. That's what this card stands for. Taking the stand, right? And look how this magician is standing up. Okay? taking a stand. There's a certain boldness about these cards, okay? So, and right below this Eight of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess in reverse. That is the most intuitive card in the deck, okay? Connecting to the energies of the Hermit, both very intuitive cards. This is a 2, the High Priestess is a 2, contrasted with the Eight of Pentacles, right? Again, the bringing together, the harmonization, right, of all elements of our being, okay? So, yes, the reminder that the world is what you create. Having faith in yourself, who you are and what you can create, okay? The skills and abilities that you have that are perhaps more multifaceted than you think even, right? Now, moving over here into the Father of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Wands, these two that popped out, right? I think this is speaking to sort of, again, this opening, right? But one that's more intuitive. One that's more intuitive. Okay, lighting the match, but not utilizing in full force the Ace of Wands, but the opening, the awareness of the actions you're taking forward. Okay, the awareness of how you're moving forward. Okay, and so this is sort of, again, beckoning the fresh perspective, the new way of moving forward, one that is filled with perhaps more of the fusion of elements rather than just one. So right above that, you have the Father of Swords in reverse, and this can kind of speak to, I mean, really both of these cards, right? There's an element of mystery here, right? The match was just lit. Okay, there's not full and complete clarity. It's just sort of an idea, right? The Father of Swords upright is very direct, very intellectual. Okay, this is the highest suit of the air energy, of the intellectual energy. So perhaps there's a sense of, or there was leading until this point, or in general, a sense of understanding that there needs to be some sort of change in the way that you go about things, or perhaps you are realizing that you want there to be a change, right? You want to reinvent maybe the way that you are moving forward with things, and perhaps it's one that you want to take a less intellectual approach with, right? Or it's simply one that you are not entirely clear about. Okay, but look at the sword on the Father of Swords. It's pointing right down, and it's in vibrant color, pointing right down to the Temperance card. Okay, so there's a reminder perhaps of the need to have patience, have hope, have faith, right? And the process of discovering and reinventing is a process at the end of the day, right? And so it can come slowly maybe, okay? But it is nevertheless coming about, okay? So a reminder to take a multifaceted approach perhaps, okay? Okay, the Devil here at the very end of the reading. I'm reading it as a greater fusion of earth and fire, okay? Perhaps you're going to really take on this boldness, this stand, okay? Okay, and this is progressional. So you have the Hermit is a 9, this is a 15. Okay, so there is a progression taking place. There's a progression taking place. So perhaps this is the energy, right? It seems that you will be moving forward with perhaps this closer introspection of your goals, and it's going to be in a way that is driven with passion and fire. Okay. So great. Thank you so much, Virgo. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Feel free to leave your comments below. I'm always curious to know how it resonates. And I will be back with your February reading probably in about a week or so. So stay tuned, stay tight, and I'll see you guys then. All right. Bye, Virgo. See ya.